All right, I'm going to start a new, uh, by the way, this is how I know that I'm in my student account. I go to my upper right and I have not changed my image there, which I probably should, but I can see there that I'm in my VT account. Okay, and not a trial account or something. All right, let's go to a new file and let's use a web large. I'm gonna go to the top here, web large, open that. And I have my timeline open. If you do not, just look for your windows. I know you can't see that, but up at the very top of my screen is a windows. You can turn on your timeline. Okay, turn it on and off. You can also resize it, moving around here. This right here is the, that one's the contextual taskbar. If you don't see it, you can turn it on and off. It's up to you to have it on. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to, we have this artboard. I want it to be a transparent background, so I'm going to click on my artboard right here on the layers panel. Make sure you have your layers panel open. You can always go to window layers, okay? And then let's go to our properties panel right here. And that again is under properties. You can kind of make it bigger if you wish. Okay, so open up properties. And instead of a white background, I'm going to choose a transparent one. Okay, and then minimize the properties and let's bring in an image. Okay, so what I would like you to do is go to File. Again, that's at the very top here. You can't see it in my screen. Go to Open, and I gave you all this cat square. I'm going to bring it in. Okay, say Open. It opens in a different, file. That's fine. I'm just going to select it so you could go up to Edit, where is select? Well, let's just use the shortcut key, which is Command A or Option or Control A on PCs, I believe, and then Command Copy for copy. You can do that copy here, or Option or Control C on a PC. So copy. I'm going to go back over to my untitled, and I'm going to Command Paste, which is Command V on a Mac or Option or Command V on a PC. Forgive me, I'm a Mac person. So I'm not entirely sure. Okay, so great. I'm going to press return. There it is. Let's go ahead and save our file too. It's always good to save as often as you can. Go up to File, Save As, of course, for the first time. I'm going to call it Cat Bounce. I'm going to save it in my cat anim file here. Save. Very good. All right. Now, we're going to create a video timeline. Again, if you don't have your timeline open, make sure that's checked. And you should see there's a drop down here. You can choose frame animation or video animation. For this fun little, silly little GIF, or GIF, it's very simple. We're going to use frame animation. Okay, so click on that. And then, so you have to select it, right? And then you have to click there to start it. All right, very good. Now, so we have our cat. Let's make her a little smaller. Okay, so I'm going to click her and I'm going to press Command T to transform. And again, that's Command T or Option or Control T on a PC. Let's go up to the widths and heights. Let's make sure this is linked. And let's just type in, let's say 25. Maybe that's too little. 30. Let's say 30. Okay. No, you know what? That's too small. Let's make her 80. Forgive me. There we go. 75. All right. And let's move her to the upper top screen. Again, she's too big. 60. Let's do 60. Okay. Let's move her kind of like where she's just kind of peeking in there. Okay. Let's make a new frame, and the new layer frame, what you do here is go to the bottom of your timeline here. Hopefully you can see it. There's a little pop, there's a trash can and a little plus in a square. I'm going to click that. And now I have two frames, 1, 2. Go to your second frame. Okay, and you see here you have two frames here too. If you want, you can rename these. We could call this one Cat 1 and this one Cat 2. You double click to rename. Okay, now in Cat 2, let's move her down to the bottom of the frame. So it's like she's gonna bounce. Okay, somewhere around like her chin there. And now if you go back to frame 1, you see that she moves in. You could even move her out of the frame if you wish. Okay, and now this is fun. we're going to tween between these. Tweening happens automatically on the video timeline, but I'm going to show you how this is kind of like a demonstration here, how it's calculated. I'm going to select both of my frames. Over here, it's a little easier to select them in the layers panel. Okay, my layers panel. Remember, make sure your layers panel is open. And then I'm going to go to my little, these little stack of paper. Some people call it the sandwich or the hamburger. It's a little stack of paper on the timeline. Make sure you have your timeline open. Click there, and I'm going to go to tween. Ba-bum. And it gives you an, you can do a variety of different things here. You can choose these different things here, which is cool, depending on what you've been working with. We've been working with position, but we can keep these no matter what. Tween between these two, and I'm going to just leave it to default, which is frames to add. Okay, and look at that, fun. It moves very quickly. Okay, that's fun. What if we wanted it to move a little slower? Okay, we can change the delay here. Let's see, what if I just did it for that one? And you can see that one is really long. Okay, but what if we wanted to do it for all of them? I'm going to select my last frame, shift select my, so select them all, my first, and then I'm going to change them all to 1 second. Let's see what that looks like. And if you want, you could even take this last one and make her have a slight delay at the end. The way I'm going to do that is select number 7 and just press. So number 7 is the same as number 8 now. Okay, now let's make another frame. Even more. Okay, go to number 9. And now for number 9, I want you to move her way off there. Okay, right? And now we're going to tween again, but this time it's going to be between this one, 8 and 9. Okay, you can choose them here. I think it's a little easier. Frame 8 and 9. Go down here to the little sandwich and tween again. And again, I'll just do the standard here. And it kept the 1 second too, which is kind of nice. All right. If you don't like the 1 second, you can always change that. You could change it to other things here. Okay. You can change it to no delay if you want it to be really fast. Okay, well, let's just go with that. Maybe you don't like where she is at the end. These are the end two. So you can move her down a tiny bit. Maybe give her that. Kind of creates a, you could play around with the bounce there. All right, but just for this, this is just the simple gift that we're going to do in the first part of class. And I'll now have you, let's save. So it remembers what we've done. Go to File, up at the very top. I know you can't see it. Export. And we're going to go to Export for Web. And that is, I think it's Control-Shift-Command or Option, Max Shift, Option Command S, right? So, but sometimes it's hard to remember all these shortcuts. Let's go to Save for Web, and it might take a second to think there, and if you want, you can preview it. I know it's a little hard to see preview there. You can preview it, and I'll show you what it's going to look like. That's fun in Firefox. And you can then, again, my window is probably a little missing there. I'll see if I can make that window a little smaller so you can see it better. Okay, yes. And then I'm just going to keep it all. I'm going to make sure my transparency is saved, and then I'm just going to save it, and it'll ask you what you want it to be named. I'm going to move it to my cat anim folder. I'll just keep the default settings for now, and a cat bounce. Okay, so save. Might take a second, and then let's just minimize that for a minute. Let's go to our folder, cat anim, and you can see here we have the 3 files. Let's go to cat gif, open with, and you can choose which browser you want it to open in. And let me just make that, and you can see my browser is a little too big there. Let me just make her a little smaller, the kitty. And there you can see, there's your GIF. So that's your first GIF. And thanks for watching, and let's do some more. I'm going to close this particular video.